Hi, Aquarius, and welcome to your January 2021 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here, and I cannot believe it is 2021. This is crazy. It's like we've gone into some type of wormhole or time warp or something. Like, what are we doing? It's pretty awesome to see the energy coming in for you in 2021. As I've been meditating on your energy, it is like so electric and so static. I've been, kind of walking around my house and just pondering the new potential and purpose, life force energy coming into the Aquarian people. And it's vast, okay? And I was getting really excited as I was feeling it. I'm like, okay, it's like a revealing of the potential of something, the revealing of the perfect structural approach with Saturn moving into your sign, as well as the perfect philosophical foundation with Jupiter moving into your sign, combining together and creating something almost like indestructible or completely capable of transforming your life in a very positive way. With all of this energy, Aquarius, can also come a bit of like toughness when it comes to interpreting it. Okay, as I was meditating on your energy, I did feel a little bit ADD. I felt like it was hard to really focus on one thing. So many ideas were coming in, and this was a beautiful feeling, but it also created a sort of like a static not stagnation, but like I noticed that I was just kind of standing there and nothing was happening. Like all these great ideas and all these great insights were coming in, but the proof of the experience was still the same as it was before. So that's what I would watch out for as an Aquarius this month, is getting like too much skyscrapers in the mind and not really acting on it. You are called to start acting on things in January. Now, in late December, this was a little bit different. If you're listening to this in late December, that was, yes, more about strategizing and thinking and transitioning and adjusting. But by the end of January, you might still have a little bit of that in the beginning of January. But as you move through January, it's meant to get much more action oriented, and you're meant to start coasting again. I know we've been talking about coasting for the entire year of 2020, but it seems that you're meant to kind of take something to the next level, and you're meant to dream big, execute that dream, and coast again at a higher level in a different type of capacity with a sort of restful, mature nature that is really beautiful. Okay. So before we get into the week to week, I'm just going to elucidate on the potentials a little bit more. The potential to solve a money problem is first and foremost right front and center for you, okay? Issues with money, issues with poverty consciousness, issues with scarcity can vanish after this month, okay? Also, the legitimacy of what you're doing seems to get much more real. So for business owners or entrepreneurs, like maybe you're converting from that sole proprietorship into that legitimate business now. Also, like the graduation or the gaining of a degree or status is possible. A shift in class, a shift in perspective. I know none of these things are topics that Aquarius really loves, because Aquarius is more so about the creation of its own experience, which you're doing through this. But there's nonetheless a shift. There's a huge shift in paradigm for everyone, but especially you, okay? You're walking away from something this month. Something is no longer functioning the way that it used to, and this is a celebration. This is a cause for celebration. It's not something that has to be sad, okay? You don't have to grieve this change. You don't have to grieve this release of a necessary, or what used to be necessary, grind that you were having to go through all the time. Maintaining some aspect or element of the previous operating capacity that you had is good, but there does need to be a transition point in how you move forward with that in this month. And overall, Aquarius, it's just kind of beautiful about just taking part in your life now, not taking a back seat to your life, not just sitting in consideration of your life force, not just thinking in terms of complaints about the surrounding environment or people, but rather shifting into a more driver's seat perspective of your experience and starting to wield some of the energy that you have very recently come into contact with. So let's talk about the week to week in January. In the first week, you've got the incredibly confident combination of Six of Wands rooted down by Queen of Wands. So all of a sudden, and very quickly, right off the bat, your confidence is magnifying. You are becoming much more excited about what's on your plate. You're becoming less, again, concerned, less... there are less complaints around you. There are less negative attitudes. There are less voices of dissent around you. And you find yourself in a much more visceral yet supportive environment, especially here at the beginning of this Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. And I would really advise you to take full advantage of the blank slate that is here. Really consider it. Really think about how you can wield this, because as time goes on with this conjunction over the next year and a half, there's less and less creative control. There's creative power throughout all of it, but less and less creative control. So what are you signing up for the next 20 years? Think about it, okay? And yeah, be confident like this. Again, there's an ascension of status and hierarchy for some of you. And there's also just a more confident outlook on life that gives back to you so much more than any of these like businesses or degrees or anything like that. So week number 2, you've got 8 of Cups rooted down by death. And suddenly there's a big change. There's a big shift. There's a big... There's a big dissolution, perhaps, a breakup for some of you, not for all of you. You got to watch out for messages about breakups in tarot readings. It does not mean that your relationship is going to end, but it's the energy of that. It's breaking with something. Something in your life is going to pull back, and you're going to have that much more energy to fill up in a new place. So keep that in mind in the second week. What do you need to pull out of? What is no longer working? This should not be so hard anymore to actually execute. Again, thinking of your executive capacity as a person. What choices are you partaking in life? And is that a matter of like herd mentality, or is that a matter of your own true authority over your own life? This is an important distinguishing factor for you. And the second week gives you the power to really connect yourself energetically, almost like plugging in a lamp. Like, am I going to plug in the lamp here, there? Where are you going to plug yourself in energetically? Because once you're there, the lamp might not be moved for a while. So it's a good way to think about things. Week number 3, you've got Queen of Cups rooted down by Strength reversed. Emotional strength could be waning. Again, Aquarius is such a detached sign, stereotypically, but you might need to detach more than you think. You might really need to disconnect from the emotional needs of other people and start focusing on yourself a little bit more. And I think in that third week, just keeping a very keen eye on what is draining you, what do you just not have the energy for, who's an emotional vampire in your life. That's really like the combination of an emotional vampire, Queen of Cups rooted down by Strength reversed. So you might kind of keep an eye on the people that you are investing a lot of your time and energy into. And is this reciprocal? Are they capable of giving back, or is this all kind of up to you? Are you carrying the weight of the world? With Jupiter and Saturn in your sign, it's very easy to be carrying way more weight than you need to. These are both very heavy planets, very big, heavy planets. And always having Saturn in your sign is going to create a heavy situation of some kind. Even though Jupiter is there, it's mitigating it. And Saturn is a traditional ruler of Aquarius, so it's comfortable. I mean, it's still Saturn. Saturn is in your sign. And let's think about this in maybe another perspective. So let's say Jupiter wasn't there and this was just Saturn coming into your sign. The discussion would be quite different. We'd be talking all about how, okay, Saturn's coming into your sign. Life's going to be a little bit more difficult. There are going to be some challenges and obstacles, but it's going to make you stronger. It's going to make you more conditionally aware of what is valuable in your life. And it's going to also impose some limitations so that you can really heal and get stronger. You have to remember that that's also a part of what you're going through. So we can't expect this to be all flowers and rainbows with Saturn in our sign as an Aquarius. So always when Saturn comes into your sign, there's an emotional pain, okay? Third week, keep your eye out for where the source of emotional pain is, if that happens, and be direct with it. Understand what it is. Detach from it in that Aquarian way. Saturn and Aquarius supports detachment from emotional heaviness. So get your strength back, strength reverse. You're not strong enough for something that's emotional in your life. And it's not worth this tribute, this sacrifice of energy to force yourself into coping for somebody or into enabling somebody or something along those lines. So third week's a little bit weird. Fourth week is also a little bit weird. It's okay, don't worry about it. We all go through this. 8 of Swords rooted down by 10 of Cups. I'm not going to sugarcoat things for you, Aquarius. There's some relationship issues here. Not so much in the first 2 weeks of January, but second 2 weeks of January, relationships are coming to the forefront. And there's a few things that need ironing out for many Aquarius, not for everyone. What are you being trapped by? Are you trapped by this commitment that you have with this person? Are you not aware of what is holding you captive in life, whether this is a job or a career type of commitment also. 8 of Swords is about being held hostage, but not knowing what is doing that. It's blindfolded. With 10 of Cups rooting it down, it makes me think it has something to do with relationships and emotions, also coming after the third week. So this is like such a huge moment in your life, I think, this third and fourth week section of January 2021. Where you're going to be tested a little bit. And can you get yourself out of this prison? Can you get yourself out of this detriment, out of this blind commitment? Are you blindly committing to something? Or are you not? It doesn't, just because these things come up in a tarot reading, like I hate self-fulfilling prophecies. Okay, so you could have some really great things and hear this tarot reading and be like, oh my gosh, am I blindly committing to this awesome business when in reality it's an awesome business, but yeah, you're committing to it? You might be, but there are such things as good commitments too. This is where that discernment comes in. Can you discern what is a good or bad commitment in your life? It's very easy at this time with the alchemical nature of Aquarius to get focused in the wrong place. Like, oh my gosh, this business is taking all my time and all my energy. When in reality, it's like your routine and mundane habits that are causing you to be drained, but you're focused on your business because that's what you're working at. But the mundane habits don't get any spotlight when they're what needs spotlighted. And you see this dual perception of Aquarius. It's a dualistic sign. You got to look in the right place. And this is what the test revolves around for you. And at the end of January is, can you see what is really creating a hassle or a blind commitment or a problem in your life? Okay. You got to get holistic with it. You got to get objective about it. You got to know how the world works, and you got to think about how you fit into that and what is integrity and authentic and all that stuff. And after you start thinking in that objective, clear way, you are so much more prone to prosperity and very much more prone to not cutting off that which is creating prosperity in your life because you think that it's a negative commitment and thus like throwing yourself into some kind of like negative turmoil. Okay. It's just something I think that Aquarians need to think about. Really think about the results, really think about the alternatives. What is the alternative to this career if I think that it's a negative influence on my life? Am I willing to dip my toe into that before I maybe just cut off ties with my current prosperity source? Maybe I can dip my toe in that and get an amount of security there and then transition. The transitional point is really emphasized at this time. And those who transition well right now will be the ones who have a very, very positive next few years. So on that note, Aquarius, you're creating the next few years cycle, and no pressure, hashtag no pressure. I know we don't like to hear that. It is a little bit of pressure though. Having Jupiter and Saturn brand new in your sign is the energy of pressure. And every human has to go through that sometimes, okay? It's not very special for a human to feel pressurized, okay? It's part of this experience. And with that can also come the creation of momentum that leads you to a height that you've never experienced before, and a type of prosperity that you've never experienced before either. So that's a congratulatory note. This is where that individual, capable, objective, realistic, yet hopeful, optimistic, yet realistic zest comes in, combining Jupiter and Saturn to give every single Aquarius the opportunity to have the starting point here for basically an ascension out of any dark existential turmoil that they had before. Okay, major pivot point right here. Anyway, Aquarius, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this reading. It's really, really cool. I'm not kidding. Some of the most beautiful things can come in for you guys this month. So take those bulls by the horns, and enjoy it. I'm going to do an extended reading on Patreon. We'll do a central theme and 2 supporting themes. As always, your likes, comments, and subscribes here on YouTube make my day. Hit that subscribe button and hit the thumbs up as well, and comment below and let me know how it resonated for you. And you can click the center of your screen now to jump over to Patreon. Much love, Aquarius. Bye.